Is it really possible that one word could make you millions of dollars? Let's find out. What's going on, YouTube? This one word made me millions. Let's go. What is going on, online fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money on the Trainer podcast. It's your boy B Mark, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about this one word that made me millions. This one word made me millions. Now, before I get into today's podcast, I just want to share like a vulnerable share with you guys. And the vulnerable share is that I'm fucking exhausted. I'm tired. We're in the middle of a massive transition with, our gym. So we're transitioning potentially locations with the gym. So that's huge. So there's a lot of headaches that come with that. PT Domination is growing at a rapid rate. We are the busiest and the fastest growing that we've ever been, which is all good problems to have. But with that comes training more team and more responsibility and just stepping into new roles and new uncomfortable things that come with stepping into new roles and doing a lot of the stuff that I'm not used to doing and just getting better at a lot of the stuff that I'm already doing and just learning new skills. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I've made a commitment, right? I made a commitment that I was gonna show up and do 5 podcast episodes a week, every week for you guys. I made a commitment that I was gonna show up on live stream every single week for you guys. I made a commitment that I'm gonna be posting 3 reels a day, every day, 7 days a week, and I never, ever, ever miss on that commitment. And I'm sharing this story with you guys because it's very, very hard to stick to that commitment. It's very difficult to stick to that commitment. It is challenging on a day-to-day basis to stick to that commitment. I've made a statement to the universe that I want to be bigger than Gary Vaynerchuk, and making that statement and then following through on that promise has proved to be a challenging feat. And I think that a lot of people struggle with the idea of commitment, and not just commitment, but a lot of people struggle with even the idea of setting goals and doing what they say they're going to do. And before I had this one word, you guys, before I had this one fucking thing that I'm going to tell you guys that made me millions, I was a loser. I was the type of dude that would make promises to you and then knowing that I was gonna break them. I was the type of dude that would say I was gonna hang out with you on Friday, and then on Friday I would pretend that I was sick. I was the type of dude that told my client that I'd have their meal plan done by Friday, and on Friday night I'd text them and tell them I'd have it done by Sunday. I was that guy. I was the type of guy that would go out on Friday night and have a drink, and then as a result of drinking on Friday night, sleep in on Saturday morning and skip my workout. I was that dude. And I was just a guy that knew how to speak with my mouth but not follow through with my actions. And when you speak with your mouth and you don't follow through with your actions, what ends up happening is you don't trust yourself. And in the back of your mind, when you say things, even when you say you're gonna hit $5,000, $10,000 a month, when you don't trust yourself because you don't do what you say you're going to do, then you're not gonna even set these bigger goals of hitting $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month, because you don't even trust yourself to do the basic shit, like go to the gym, eat healthy, wake up when you say you're gonna wake up, post when you say you're gonna post. And if you don't trust yourself to do the basic fundamental life skills that are necessary for even existing as an entrepreneur, then you definitely are not gonna trust yourself with more money. So before I had this one thing, you guys, I'm telling you, it was a struggle. It's almost like every single month I was swimming to get ahead. And I felt like I was treading water, but I was always drowning. And I always felt like I was under pressure and I was always running away from something. And the reality is I was running away from myself. I was running away from the broken promises. I was running away from the people that I said I was gonna be there for and I didn't show up. I was running away from the friends that I was being a shitty friend from, and I was literally hiding in my house pretending I was sick. That's what I was running from. And it wasn't until I embraced this one word, this one idea, this one concept that everything started to shift for me. But again, before I had this, my income was very inconsistent. It was very up and down. It was, some weeks I'd make a lot of money and then some weeks I'd make fucking $0. And some months my clients would be super happy and some months they'd fucking hate me. And it was so inconsistent. And the reason it was inconsistent is because I was inconsistent. And you might be thinking the word is consistency, but it's not. But consistency is just a byproduct of this one thing that I found that made me millions. And I think that 99% of people don't have this word. And because 99% of people don't have this word, 99% of people go their entire lives wondering how other people are successful and thinking that other people are lucky. thinking that successful people must have had a gift or a hand up or something to help them out or give them an advantage over them. But it comes down to this one word, and it's one word alone. And this one word has carried me through my deepest, darkest struggles where I was at rock bottom and I was an addict. This one word has taken me through COVID when I literally I almost felt like I was fighting the government myself. Like I felt like I was like literally at war with the government, and everybody was coming at me for my opinions on COVID and the pandemic and all this stuff. And I just stood strong because of this one idea. This one word has taken me through moments in time where I felt like I was gonna collapse with PT domination, and I felt like I was gonna bend the knee, buckle, give up, and give in. It's this one word, and it's this one idea that if you actually listen to what I'm about to say to you and you take it so seriously that it becomes the most important thing in your life, and you literally never, ever, ever slip on it, you never miss on it, you never deviate, you never compromise, you never bend, and you do your very best to be perfect, I promise you, your life is gonna transform in more ways than you can imagine. You're gonna make way more money, you're gonna step into your power on social media, you're gonna have a voice that people wanna listen to, you're gonna look at yourself in the mirror and respect and love yourself with this one concept, this one word, this one idea that when I developed it, literally completely changed my life. This one word that made me millions. Integrity. It's integrity. Now, my definition of integrity is I do what I say I'm gonna do regardless of my emotions. Now, right now it's 6:22 p.m. on a Thursday night, July 18th. I just finished up 2.5 hours of filming. I got a message from my podcast editor, and he was like, yo, where's the podcast? I've been on back-to-back meetings literally all day. I haven't breathed. Haven't had a second to like catch my breath. And I got that message stating that I hadn't recorded my podcast, and instantly I was like, fuck. I was like, that's not good. I was like, that's not good. I'm already exhausted. I'm like, I don't have anything left in the tank. To be honest, that's how I thought. I was like, I don't have anything left in the tank, but I have this one word, integrity. And integrity means I do what I'm saying I'm gonna do. And integrity means I never compromise, I never bend the knee, I never give up, I never give in. Integrity means when everybody was coming at me with COVID and they had their opinions on what I should or shouldn't say or should or shouldn't open the gym, I made a commitment that I was gonna keep that gym open, and so that's exactly what I did. I stood on my word. And regardless of the outside circumstances or regardless of the negative feedback and regardless what people are saying about me, I stood my ground, I stood my word, I stayed exactly where I was supposed to stay. I planted my foot in the ground and said, this is what I'm doing. It's integrity. And integrity in the small things in life leads to integrity in the big things in life. And most of you listening to this podcast right now don't even have the integrity to wake up when your alarm clock goes off. First thing you do in the morning is you press snooze. So that the second you start your day with a broken promise. And then you tell yourself you're gonna post on social media, you tell yourself you're gonna go on your story, you tell yourself that you're gonna start your online coaching business, you tell yourself all of these things and you don't follow through. And because you don't follow through, you do not trust yourself. And when you do not trust yourself with the very basic, fundamental things like self-care, like showering every day, like going to the gym 5 times a week, like actually doing your fucking cardio once your workout is done. When you do not trust yourself to do the bare bones, basic fundamentals in life, it is actually impossible, and I do mean that word, impossible, for you to achieve massive success. Because you do not trust yourself. And so you will never set goals outside of your comfort zone. You will never expand and reach for more and grasp at the unlimited potential that you could possibly become, because you don't even trust that you'll get out of bed on time. And when you develop this concept of integrity and you start super small, like when I say start super small, it's like you guys see me going live 5 times a week as my commitment to myself, posting 3 times a week on social media, or 3 times a day on social media, 7 days a week, like doing 2 YouTubes a week, no matter how I feel. Like you guys see those commitments and you're like, I'll never be that. I can never have that level of integrity. That's way too much for me. You don't have to be me, you have to be the best you. And so if you say to yourself, I will post on social media 5 times a week, whether I'm dead or in the hospital, when you make that commitment to yourself and you start committing at that level to one thing, just one, automatically the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. That integrity will start to seep into other areas of your life. Now, a lot of people struggle with this concept because then they start thinking to themselves, like, does that mean that I don't get a day off? Does that mean that, my comfort zone is, I have to leave it? Does that mean that I might not get to do all the lazy fucking things that I usually do? Yes. That means you need to make sacrifices. Like, I love watching action movies, y'all. It's one of my favorite things in the fucking planet. If I could watch action movies all day and be rich, I would. That's a fucking truth. But I needed to sacrifice some of the shit that I like doing so that I can achieve some of the goals that are important to me. And integrity means I follow through on what I say I'm gonna do, regardless of the mood that I'm in when I am doing the fucking thing. And that means that sometimes I'm gonna be sacrificing something that I wanna do for something I don't wanna do. And that's integrity. Like when I wake up in the morning and my alarm clock goes off and I wanna sleep in, I need to sacrifice the desire to sleep in, and I need to fight the demon in the back of my mind that's telling me to stay in bed so that I can keep my commitment to myself to get up and go after the things that I want. And when I start my day with that energy, that passion, that power, I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill it today. That's the energy that I bring into every single thing that I do. And that's something so small that we can do every single day is decide what time you're gonna get up and get up at that fucking time. That's literally how simple it is to start. And then when you build that habit and you start getting up at that same time, no matter what, even if you don't want to, then you start getting into other habits. You're like, okay, now that I'm up at 6 a.m., what am I gonna do with that time? But you don't start there. You start by making the small decision that you're going to be integral to one fucking thing. And then you stay committed to that one thing. And 99% of you guys are not gonna do this because you're gonna try to do it all at once. You're gonna try to wake up on time, then do your morning ritual, then do your affirmations, then post 3 times on social media, then la 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 la. And then you end up with broken promises. And when you end up with broken promises, you feel like shit. When you feel like shit, you don't wanna set goals because you don't trust yourself to follow through those goals. And then you end up in the same fucking place that you've been in for the last 3 years because you don't have integrity. This one idea, this one concept, this one word, if you develop this one word, I promise you this one word will carry you through everything in your life. Integrity. And integrity means that you will need to challenge yourself. Integrity means that you will need to push yourself. Integrity means that you will need to do things that you do not want to fucking do for the sake of keeping your word and keeping your promise. I am a man of my word and I am proud of that. When I say I'm gonna do something, it is done, it is written. When I speak my goals into existence, Kirsten used to think they were crazy. Now she understands. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Because Kirsten has watched me speak my life into existence and my word has become law. When I speak, it becomes real. Any single person, any single individual can develop this skill set because it's not just a mindset, it's a character, it's a spirituality, it's a commitment, it's my essence, it's who I am. I do what I say I'm gonna do, regardless of the mood that I am in before I do the thing. And so here I am. It is Thursday, July 18th, 6:30 p.m. after a full 12-hour workday recording this podcast for you guys. And I'm telling you that this one word, me doing this podcast, is exactly why I've made millions. Because I have integrity. And any single one of you listening to this podcast can make the decision that today moving forward, you are going to be a man or woman of your word. And when you do that, everything in your life will start to change. I promise you. Peace, love, and protein. Have the best day of your entire life. Talk to you guys in the next episode. Let's go. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Integrity is a word that you can take and start utilizing today and instantly transform your life. When you say you're gonna do something, follow through. If you don't wanna do something, don't say you're gonna do it in the first place. Peace.